It's the time of day for fishing. Tackle packed, I'm on my way. Driving down these country roads with the sunset's golden ray. Destination's yet a mystery, but my heart's where the water flows. Hoping for a smashing mark where the school of silver glows. Will it be a sorry blank or fishes by the cast? Chucking out a 5-ounce lid, smooth hound big and fast. The evening breeze is calling with the tales that will begin. For cod bites, fishing adventures, it's time to reel one in.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Cod Bites Fishing Adventures. Yes, you're not seeing things, I am back out. I've just turned up at Kilnsea. It's 10 to 4 in the afternoon, Thursday, I don't even know what day it is, but I'll let you know somewhere through the video because I haven't brought my phone with me, but it's Thursday anyway. And this video will be going out today, so you know, you can tell what day it is, obviously what day it is. Obviously I haven't been out for a while. My leg's gone completely, my right leg, I can hardly walk, my kneecap's gone. I think it's osteoarthritis. Came on just before Christmas and I really struggled with it. I got one video out, but after that it just gave up and I couldn't hardly walk at all. So I've got osteoarthritis in my kneecap, my right leg, and believe me, I cannot hardly walk on it, so basically there's not a lot I can do. But I've turned up at Kilnsea. There's about 2 hours to top, because top's 6 o'clock, so I'm fishing off the cliff. I've got one rod out, Achios 420, Achios 450. I'm on black blood, 2 up paternoster, 2 big black lug on each hook. We use the Tacoma Manta 3Os. We're out about 50 metres. After seeing that big cod come out about a week and a bit ago, just at 20 metres, I wasn't going to ram it right out. So, you know, I'll be happy to sit there 30, 40, 50 metre out. As I say, I'm off the cliff. I say a cliff, but it's only about 3 foot, 3.5 foot. I'm hoping to get a bite first cast, you know, get a fish, get me off the mark. Because I've only been out once since December the 17th, I do believe. And that was in January, about second week in January. I will be coming out, you know, on a quite regular basis. But I'm very limited to where I can go at the moment till I get this leg sorted out. I've got due to see a specialist in a couple of days, so obviously, you know, they're going to refer me there and everywhere for it. I don't think there's a lot you can do with arthritis in the kneecap, to be fair. I've been reading a lot about it online, and you know, short from having a knee replacement, and then there's no guarantee they work anyway, because I've been reading about it. Loads of people have had them and they're worse off than they was before they did them, so you know, it's whether you take to it or not. I brought a lass with her, she's in the van, she's making me lovely drinks. It's great when the van's just 20 metres away from you, like. But yeah, I'm just going to have to pick and choose my venues and take it from there. But it is nice to get back out. You know, I have actually, you know, felt a bit of sand under my feet because there's a lot of it washed up on this little bit of cliff. Must have had some big tides because that roadway on to the left of the car park's totally gone in the water, so that's gone. So it looks like we've had some big tides here. It's changed a lot. But as I say, I'll try and get out as much as I can. I'm going to put you on the rod in a minute. But I've attached a bracket to the my seat box, so I can hold this camera on it so it don't blow over in the wind. Because you know, there's no worse than keep looking back to see if your camera's still standing there. So this bracket's doing well. The only problem is, you know, I've got to turn it round, so I'll have to cut the camera off to put you back on the rod. But other than that, you know, it's spot on. So I'll catch you in a bit. I'm going to get you on the rod. There we go, we're on the rod. There is a bit of wind, like. I was going to fish 2, but with it only being a couple of hours, I may probably get 2 hours up and maybe an hour down if I'm lucky. You know, I thought, what's the point in banging 2 rods out, really, just for a 2.5, 3 hour session. So I'm just going to make sure I put plenty of bait on this 2 up paternoster. And you never know, I might just strike into a nice fish. I mean, there has been some nice ones coming out. Fishing in closer, you've got a chance of a little bass here and there, haven't you? And I've had a few here, you know, in my time, bass. So, but yeah, I'm just going to stick one rod out. We aren't going to be too stupid. As I say, I've been laid up for nearly 3 bloody months. You know, I did all the garden yesterday. I struggled, but I did it. Obviously sitting down every so often to rest this leg. But I got it done, and my garden's massive, believe me. But I've still got another day work on it, maybe. I'm just trying to get a lot of exercise now and trying to get this leg working. You know, whether I can or not is another matter. You know, I've been told to just rest it until it gets better, like, but you can't really, can you? You've got to be up and down, haven't you? I don't mind half the time. You really jump up, you forget about it, and you jump up, and then you regret it as soon as you've got on your feet, like, kind of thing. But you know, it's one of them things. But it's just nice to be out, and I'm going to get quite a lot of videos out anyway, so, you know, I expect quite a lot of content to come in the next few weeks. I'll try and make up what I haven't put up, like, but I'm going to make them short and sweet. I ain't going to make them long because they're not going to be long sessions, unless I'm fishing Paul or mackerel or something, but there's none out there at the moment anyway. I could maybe make Kilnsea, I could maybe do Kilnsea South, because there's not many steps there, or I could go down the ramp. But climbing wise, I've got no chance because I can't put no pressure on it to like walk up or to climb up, put all my weight on it, so you know, can't really hop up a cliff, can I, or hop up loads of steps, so I'm just going to have to go with the flow, like. But, you know, thanks for sticking with us anyway, not all desubscribing, because I mean, the channel was going pretty well before Christmas. I had it really rolling, and, you know, unforeseen things happen and there's not a lot you can do about it. But I mean, luckily there hasn't been a lot of good stuff coming out anyway, has there? So up until the last few weeks, you know, there's been some terrible tides, lots of weed. This is my first cast anyway, so I'm going to pull this in a minute and I'm going to see if there's any weed on it, because I've had a few knocks on it and it could be weed, like pulling my line. But when I put the camera on it, it'd only been out there about 20 seconds, so, you know, you've seen what I've seen basically. But I do want to look at it in a minute just to see if there's a lot of weed on it. Because what I don't want to do is leave it out there too long and have frigging 4 metres of washing line up my line, like, you know what I mean? So, but looking at the beach, it don't look like there's any on it. But it's a big town tonight. I think it's a 7.4 here, so it'll be definitely smacking this cliff. There's still a couple of hours to go to high, and it's already here, as you can see, so, you know, the tide's right near us now. I'd say another 10 minutes it'll be at the bottom of the cliff, so, you know, but there's not, it's not rough out there, you know, the swells are about a couple of feet at the most, so, you know, there's no ferocity in the sea, like. Probably got a chance of a couple of good flatties and that, maybe a turbot or something, because I've had a few turbot in my time here as well. I'm going to have a look at this rod in a minute just to see, and maybe top it up, because I've got like 4 packs of black lug with me, so, and some sand eel, so I might strap a sand eel on there as well on one of them, just to, you know, give it a bit of difference, like. But I thought I'd just fish one rod and I'd just hammer loads of black lug on it, because, you know, 4 packs of black lug in about 2 hours is about right, isn't it? So I've got 4 worms on there at the moment out, so I'll just keep topping it up with a worm every time I bring it in, like, and they should just about last me. Well done to the winners of the EOBC Open and all that lot, like. Well done to everybody that took part in it. I don't do it because obviously you know about me back and all that lot, so I cannot, you know, I can't walk too far and I can't get down big cliffs or anything, so I never bother entering it, because you know what it's like trying to find a spot, and I'd be gone before I even found one, so I don't bother. But you know, well done to all them that do take part in that. Great fish that won it anyway, so nice to see a cod win it anyway. And a local lad as well, so an old lad. You know, it's nice to see a local lad win it. I think a couple of the previous years before that was a bloody big seal right in front of my line. I better pull it in because there's a seal within about, I don't know if you saw it bob up there, but there it is now, right over my land. Let me get it in before it gets me bloody gear. I mean, I thought I had a bite on this lake, but whether I did or not is another matter. I don't think I did. I ain't got a fish anyway. There is a bit of weed though. I'll have to keep an eye on that bloody seal because, well, it's gone over there now. It's moved to my right about 30-40 metres, so I should be alright. Right, there is a bit of weed, but, you know, I can live with that. It ain't that bad, like. Well, if the seal's hunting out there must be a few fish, so, you know. It's that real fine red weed anyway, it should just pop off it. Could have been a lot worse, couldn't it? Let's face it. I'll stick another lug on that because I want to keep them well topped up, because if you're only fishing one rod, you know, you want to keep them well stacked, don't you? So I brought her last with us, like, but she's in the van and she's happy. She can have a drink and she's got a microwave and stuff in there, so she can do what she likes, kind of thing, like telly and everything. Keeps her happy. She's out. She can see the sea. She can relax. Obviously, it's a nice drive out coming up here anyway, so it's all good. I'm not going to be shaky on these black lug because, as I say, you know, with one rod you can afford to put a lot more on, because you don't have to feed two rods like all night or all session. Right, well, so I've got lovely big baits anyway. Evening. It's only out about 40-50 metres, fellas. I ain't really paggering it out. As I say, don't really want it too far out. Yeah, I'm just quite happy to leave it there. I can leave the camera on quite a lot anyway, more or less do it in real time, because, as I say, I'm not fishing too long, so. Well, it's holding nicely anyway. I mean, that's probably about 45-50 metres. Stuck a 6 ouncer on it and it's holding quite nice. It is a bit of a northeasterly blowing in, but you know, what can you do? It's not strong though. I reckon it's about 6 or 7 knots max. It's not even, you know, not to worry about anyway. I don't know if that was a bite, fellas, or Oh, it just let go a little bit, but you see that pull down then? It pulled down then, didn't it? Can't beat freshly made coffee though, not over flask. I don't like it out of a flask really. That's why you don't often see me bringing them anymore. Because I'm really peculiar on what coffee I drink. You know, you got to. I mean, my favourite coffee is Maxwell House, and you can't really get it from many places now. I mean, it's expensive. I think it's about £7 or £8 a jar now, but you know, I've just grown up with it all my life, and you know, when you get used to it. And I've tried all the rest of them, and I just don't like them. So the only place I can get them from now is Iceland or Amazon. You know, why they stopped selling them, I know probably because it's too expensive, but at the end of the day, you know, it's only a little bit more expensive than Nescafe, so you know, I don't know why all the shops stopped selling it. Since COVID, I used to be able to get it all the time until COVID, and then, you know, it just stopped. Erin's used to do it, and bloody Farm Foods used to do it. And now it's so bloody hard to get hold of. You can get it from Booker's in the big 750 gram tins, like. I've got the adapter for this GoPro anyway on the media mod. You know, the proper GoProlight. It's they're quite expensive, to be fair, with the diffusers on them. But I mean, they're the proper lamp, it's proper light for the camera. And I haven't tried it yet because I ain't done any night fishing. But it's the proper camera light, so you know it should be perfect. Like, but it does make the camera look nice now with all the bits added on it. You know, the DJI mic adapters on it, and the GoPro light mod on it, and the media mod and the magnetic attachments. It's just great now. So easy to change the battery and everything now, so you know, you can't go wrong really. Right, I'm going to take a little break for now because you know, it's not really happening, but I will be back, you know, if I see anything happening on them rods. Right, I'm back because I was at the van just going to get a drink of our last, and the bloody rod just went rabid. Whether it's just a wave that hit it or not, I don't know, but it didn't have to go down. It was just a flick, a big pull down and a flick. Might have just been a wave like, but my hand's gone bloody tight, I know that. Oh yeah, I've got a bite on that. I think I'm in here, fellas. Oh yeah, I think we've got something here. If I hadn't, I've been very unlucky. Very unlucky. You saw it though, didn't you? Wow, what a shame. Thought he had a big fish there. It's one of them things, isn't it, I suppose. Still his first bite of the day. Might start coming on now about an hour before top, so just flick that straight back out. Yeah, it's had a go at the middle of there, look. The middle of it's been bitten out. Might be able to get another half of one on there, just to refresh it. Thought I was in there though. That was a bloody race of it. Initially it was a big strike like. The weed doesn't seem to be bad though. It's very, very little weed. I wouldn't even call it weed anyway. It's not affecting me in the slightest. I'm going to bang that back where that was because, you know, it was good. Only about 45 out again. I could go further, but I just don't see the point. So it gives me a better chance of getting a bass if I'm closer in anyway. It's exactly where I put the last one. Right, go get that drink. I'll leave the camera on and I'll go get my drink. I'm only about 35-40 metres from the van. With my sparkling water. I've got the wrong water, I've got sparkling. I had to shake it up to get the fizz out. Yeah, so she got sparkling water. Did it work alright?
So, yeah.
So if it tastes alright.
I picked it up thinking it was just water.
Yeah, she picked it up thinking it was just normal water. It's bloody sparkling water, like tonic water type of thing. But it is water, 'cause I tried it, it's just fizzy. But I've just...
well, you just boiled it now, so it won't be
yeah, we just boiled it. I just want to see what date it is. It is March the 19th, Thursday, March the 19th. And it's now 4:46. So I've had one bite, and it was a good bite as well. Right, take me drink with me, my tonic water drink. It's not good watching me bloody limp all these meters like, but you know, I'm trying to get some movement in this leg. It's holding nicely though. I brought my freshwater fishing chair with me as well, because you know, you might as well have comfort, haven't you? That just tastes the same. So at least you know if you get the wrong water and you pick up sparkling water, just shake the fizz out of it and it just turns into normal water. I just tipped about 3 inches of it out and just shook it up until it's all gone. They only inject CO2 in it, don't they? Well, I think I've got another bite here, fellas. It's definitely not a crab, because when I was at the van on that last one, it really went down. You know, I was worried in case my bloody rod come off its stand when it went down the first time, because it bounced back up, just flicked. And luckily I've got deep cups at the top, like. But you know, I think I could have been a wave, like, but you know, you saw the bite the second time, didn't you? A few seconds afterwards, so it did look like someone was having a go at it, like maybe a bloody dogfish or something. Although I think if it had been a dogfish, it'd have just taken all that, because they are bloody greedy buggers, them, aren't they? That seal's buggered off anyway. Well, at least Mike White and John, as Ming has been there putting a few videos out, hasn't he? At least you've had something to watch on Louis Van Bowie, because you know, I think Russ hasn't put many out, and I've put none out hardly, and Shane hasn't been putting that many out either. You know, I find he's struggling with his knee and stuff like that, so you know, and I think Russ is a bit ill as well, so you know, things are happening, like, you know, this is this old age, isn't it? Like, I mean, when you get in your 60s, you know, everything bloody is 10 times worse, isn't it? Especially with your bones and stuff. I mean, I started getting arthritis in my shoulders about 2 years ago, and it's gone to my knees now. You know, luckily I haven't got it in my fingers, thank God. Because then I'd be really struggling to bloody hook up and everything then. But, you know, what can you do? All you can do is try and keep active, can't you? But when you can hardly bloody walk and stuff and your back's gone, you know, you can't really get active, can you? You're limited what you can do. You know. Which is why fishing was good for me. I could get out, you know, 2 or 3 times a week and, you know, get plenty of activity, like. Stick a bit of gardening in the middle and you've got a pretty active week, like. But it's a laugh when I garden because, you know, if I mow the lawn, and my lawn's pretty big, like, it'll take me about 3 hours to mow the bloody lawn because I do a couple of strips and then sit down, and because obviously my knee's in agony. And then, but I can't stand up long anyway because of my back, as you know. That's why I don't stand so much, and I don't sit so much either. I've got to, like, usually when you watch me fishing, I'm usually walking around all over the bloody place, constantly fidgeting, because, you know, it don't bother me if I'm moving about, you know, slowly, but as soon as I stand still or sit down so long, I've got a bite again, fellas. It's only a little nibble at the moment, but, you know, it could develop into something decent. So let's see. I'm not going to pull it in this time until, you know, I'm quite positive we've got some kind of fish on it. If it's a codling, I'll call it a codling and not a cod, unless it's 20 pound, like. Because I don't even know what people, you know, some people just call them cod. I call them cod because if you actually look on AI, your cod's a bloody cod, whether it's 3 inches or 103 inches. You know, but people call them codling, but it's obviously a cod, innit? You know. But, you know, for them people who like to get it right, we'll just call it a codling. Like, there's a bloody seal right in front of me again. I'll show you him, look. He's there, look. Just sticking his little head up. Right at the front. Right near my bloody line. So I better watch my rod. Oh, he's right under my line. Oh, never. If he gets my line, he's going to take my rod. I am pretty worried now. He's just there, look, right near my bloody rod. His head's sticking out. That's where my line is. There was a big one come out and it went up there towards Spain, thank God. Well, the tide's now hitting the cliff. Spin you around a little bit because I don't want you to miss any action if that rod goes. There is some tasty cod about though, isn't there, if you're lucky enough to get one, like. Actually, that one at seal, fellas, it's some driftwood. It does look like a bloody seal though, but it's just come right up and it's a big lump of driftwood, like. It's like it's off a pier or something. Yeah, we've just bounced it out and it's definitely a bit of driftwood. Come on, fishies, let's have a fish. It'd be nice to get one, you know, just for being off all this time, like. You know, I mean, I didn't expect to come out and catch loads of fish, like, but, you know, I just wanted to get out. Well, there you go. Another big pull down, you saw that, didn't you? What a big flick, though, this time. It's definitely not a wave, because there ain't none. Usually when I get a bite I multiply it by 2, so if I get a big pull down, it's a pull down. If I get you know, I always exaggerate slightly on my definition of a bite. And if I said I've got a cracking bite, it means I've got a bite. That's what I call a bite, a cracking bite. You know, if it's if it's wobbling a lot, wriggling a lot, that's a cracking bite to me. You know. I mean, a slack liner is just a slack liner. If your line's gone bloody slack, then it's a slack liner. But everybody defines their own type of bites, don't they? It's more dramatic when you've got a cracking bite or you've got a massive pull down, when actually it's just a big pull down. You know what I mean? It builds the tension up, doesn't it? And then when you reel it in, there's no out there. Oh, that video that I put up anyway, with that cod in it, that £11 cod, with a Jaws theme, the bloody YouTube pulled it. So I had to pull the Jaws theme off it. You know, it was royalty free, the one I used, but apparently it's not, so. If I'd left it on for only 10 seconds, I'd have got away with it, but it was about 20. It doesn't matter, I pulled the frigging music off it, so. Which is a shame. But I don't know what I'm going to do this summer, fellas. I don't know whether to do a lot of, you know, ray fishing and ray and smooth hound, or do I go do a few of the rivers, like, you know, whatever's easier for me, really. You know, I can't get on Easington Beach because I can't. There's no way my leg will carry me that far at the moment. I can get here on the beach. Well, I can get on the cliff. There's no get down here now, really. You got to climb down now. I know it's only 3 foot or so, but with a bad leg, it's bloody might as well be 20 foot. But I can get probably down Hornsea, because I think there's only about 11 steps at Hornsea. I can definitely do Paul and Macro. I can do King George Dock. I can definitely do here. I could probably do Easington on a big tide and fish off the cliff, like. You know, I only came here today because it was a big tide, and I knew I'd be able to fish an hour and a half off the cliff, 2 hours. Or more. Well, I can get 3 hours actually, because there's still an hour to top and it's already hitting the cliffs, though. You know. Plus we know we don't need to be out more than about 30-40 metres anyway. You know, if a guy can pull a cod in at 20-30 metres and it's that big, you know, clearly we're going over the top, aren't we? I swear I've got a fish on that, you know. These I'm using this Akios 450 FX and you know, the 15-foot one, and it's got a real sensitive tip on it. You know, really, I should have probably brought my Sonic Black Sports, because, you know, when you got a bite on them, you know it's a bloody bite, like. But these are so sensitive, I probably need to get used to them. Probably a decent bite on my Sonic will be like a monster bite on this. You know, this will probably pick up a shrimp fatting at 300 yards, like. But I'll give it its credit, it does cast well. I mean, even the 6 ounce. You know, all I worry when I flick these 6 ounces out and give it some welly, because the bloody tips look so thin, but you know, they seem to do it, like. I ain't heard any crackling when I've been casting, so, you know, that's probably a good sign. But I think I'll stick to 5 ounce on these 450s, because, you know, I know that I can give it a bit of welly and not worry too much. I'm sure somebody's going to come on in the comments and say, yeah, I can welly 8 ounces out on them or whatever, but, you know, it's just the size of the bloody tip. It's like half the size of my Sonic Black, like. They do hold well, though, I'll give them that. You know, it's not bouncing out or anything. You're definitely no good in rocky areas, I wouldn't have thought, because they'll be all over the place. This is why I like my Sonic Black Sport. You know, people can knock them, they can say what they like. They can say the tip snap on them and everything, but I've never snapped a tip. I'm sure that's a bloody bike. You saw that, didn't you? I've never snapped a tip on them, and I've given them some hammer. Believe me, I've knocked 8 ounces out on them as far as I can go. And I've never broke a tip, never broke a ring on them. I've never done anything, and I've had them, I must have bloody fished, I don't know, they must have done 80, 90 videos on them. So imagine how many sessions I've done, because I ain't filmed every one I've done. You know, so you can knock them rods, you can say what you like, but I guarantee you that rod will fish anywhere. I've knocked it in rocky places, I've knocked it in the river, I've put it on flat beaches and it holds up anywhere, and it always holds up well in the tide, even if it's a really rough sea. And in a river, you can't beat them because you don't trip your lead. You know, I mean, they're stiffish, but they're not too stiff, if you know what I mean. You can knock them out. You still get an 100 metre cast on them. And that's good enough cast for anything, really. You know, I bet throwing these rods out too far, I think you're going to have most of the good fish. I think that's what our problems are. We try to get out as far as we can, but really, when you think about it, you don't really need to be out that bloody far. And if you go out too far, you've killed your bass chance off for a start. And you know for a fact there's rays and there's flatties and there's turbot and everything close in. So you know that when you're shrimp netting, and you get all the little, you know, little turbots and stuff in there, little thornies and little flatties and that. Sure, that's a bloody bite, fellas. I just don't want to keep pulling it in, you know, and I'm sticking 2 or 3 worm on it every time. Like, I'm not bothered, but I just don't want to pull it in for the sake of it. Although there is some weed coming up the land now. Hey, well done to Louis Bamboui anyway. That kid's channel's doing well now. He's talking a lot better on the mic and stuff now, and he's getting really informative. You know, his channel's doing really well. Give him a shout and go onto his channel and have a look at some of his stuff. You know, I don't think the kid gets as much credit as you should get, really, because you know, I enjoy watching his channel, to be fair. And he, you know, at the end of the day, it costs you a lot of money to do these channels, and believe me, you don't make now. If people think you're sitting there making money on them, you know, think again. So if people want to make a channel and make money on it, you've got no chance unless you've got hundreds of thousands of bloody subscribers. You know, you don't even break half even, never mind even. I mean, you're looking at 50, 60 quid a session now with your fuel and your bait and all that lot, and bits and bobs, and your food, whatever you're bringing, petrol and everything. And, you know, if you stick a video up there, if you make a tenner off that video, you're doing well, believe me. So don't think you're going to make mega money unless you get multiple thousands of you know, I was lucky, I put a bloody short up there, you know, just before Christmas, and it got nearly 500,000 views. Well, I think it was nearly 400,000 views, somewhere. You know, I made more money off that bloody one little 12-second short than I've made off any video that I've ever done by miles. So it just shows you've done it. If you can get a short to go viral and get a couple of million views on it, you know, you'll make a decent bit of longer on it, like, but you know, it was a one-off, it was just a fluke. You know, I've had shorts that have done 40, 50,000, but you know, I've never gone up to nearly 400,000 views, like. I mean, that short was getting hammered for nearly 2 weeks solid. So, you know, I was just lucky. I must have just flicked it up at the right time. Right, I'm going to have a look at this, because I don't want to leave them out too long, because I'm probably going to get about 6 or 7 casts in anyway, maybe 8 at the most. So I'm going to bring it in, and I'm hoping the camera's on, because I've been talking to myself, you know, what a shame. Right, I'm bringing this in, fellas. You know, I've had a few knocks on it. I ain't saying there's a fish on it, but I can see weed up the line, so that ain't a good thing. Looks like I've pulled a bloody washing line here. Oh, it does feel a bit heavy though, fellas. It's probably nothing. It's a real sandy beach though, this. Yeah, not a bean. If I get a consolation fish before I go, I'll be well chuffed. Put it that way. Because I wasn't expecting miracles. And you've actually got this video in real time. You know, in this session you're only going to miss about 40 minutes of it, so you know, trying to film as much as I can of it, like, to get some content out of it. You know, the only bit of action you've had at the moment is a bloody bit of plank that I thought was a bloody seal. Should have knocked this now. How they get knotted, I don't know. Right, it's that one off. Someone's had to go at that though, because the bloody worm's off it. Should have tipped it off with a bit of squid really, but I ain't brought none. Which doesn't help, does it? Right, can I get another worm on there maybe? Probably get the other half of that other one. See, I don't want to shake on the bloody bait because I've only got one rod out there and I ain't here long. And it's lovely black lug as well, really thick chunky black lug, so yeah, on my top height. Right, that's it, let's get it back out. Might knock it slightly a bit further this time. It's got wrapped around my bloody tripod leg. Wind's blowing it round. Right, let's go for it then. Might try and knock it out just a little bit further, but not too far. Right, about 60-70 metres this time. Slightly bit longer. Good chance to settle and I'll tighten it up. Well, it's looking a bit sad, isn't it, fellas? Looking a bit sad. Lovely out there though, look at that look. Yo. Right. Having this thing on me, I put like a bracket on me box, so that I can not have to worry about, as I say, my tripod blowing over in the wind, because There's no worse than trying to bloody cast it. You want to get your cast on and everything, and it's blowing in all light, and all you're worried about is your camera blowing over. Because it's so easy to break the lenses and scratch them and stuff like this, you know. And they're bloody expensive, these things. You certainly don't want to be damaging them, especially when you've got all these bloody mods and stuff on them. They're really expensive. When you think about it, when they bring these cameras out, you know, instead of having to buy all these bloody peripheral things like bloody mods and stuff, lights, you know, that go with it, and bloody radio mic, why don't they just bring them out like in a package? Like they should be already in it. You know, it's like they give you the bare thing, and then you got to add bits on it to make it really what it should be in the first place. You know what I mean? It's just like bloody, they bring these games out for PlayStation and stuff and Xbox, then you got to buy all these bloody upgrades and mod packs and stuff. It's just a con, really, isn't it? You know, you've already bought the thing, you should be able to do what it's supposed to do, like. Because GoPros are real particular on what mics you can use in them and stuff like that. Radio mics, you know. Well, they're a bit particular about a lot of things, really. But it's so bloody expensive to do things these days. I mean, the cost of living's got ridiculous, hasn't it? And all these wars going on and stuff. I mean, I went on the way here, I tried to get some fuel, bloody Tesco's never had none. No diesel. Goes to Asda, they got none either. Luckily I found a garage on the way here, but it was like about 30p a litre dearer than it was at bloody Tesco's. I think I paid about 174 a litre or something. There's only one like 33 at Tesco's or 34 or something. You know what I mean? Look at the price difference. It's horrendous. How these garages are charging that much for the same diesel, I don't bloody well know. It's all a big con now these days. You know, there's all these bloody wind farms and stuff, but why, if it's that good, why aren't we getting cheap fuel? You know what I mean? Why is our fuel the most expensive in the world? Our you know, energy. And we've got all this green crap, you know what I mean? Hey, I've got to stop all this ranting, haven't I, really? I don't want to turn it into a ranting channel. You know, I know it's probably fun, like, and all that for everybody watching when you're ranting and all that, but I don't really want to do that. I have the odd little gripe now and again, but I mean, you know, very rare, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to get you back on that rod, because knowing my luck, the bloody thing will go. I'll have to alter everything to get you on it. But I could just do with a nice fish, let's be honest. I don't care what it is. You know, doggy, flatty, whatever. I don't care. I mean, I have caught fish at Kilnsea before, you know, but I've never had a brilliant session here. I've had a, you know, I've had a cod and a bass together and stuff like that, and I've had turbits and rays and all that lot. I've never had a massively big session, you know what I mean, where I've had 8 or 9 fish or something. You know, the only reason it's, you know, I come here is because it's quite easy access and stuff like that. But you know, if I had a choice of fishing today, I'd have probably gone to North Withernsea, but I was no way I'd get on them bloody steps or that slipper rod, so you know, not a lot I can do really. Might end up going around the cortisone injection route in the knee and there. You know, it'll probably only last about 3 weeks. But at least I can have 3 weeks worth of fun on it, can I? To get through the day. But it's nice to get some good weather anyway. I mean, it's been beautiful the last couple of days, hasn't it? I mean, yesterday, it was, I think it was about 70 degrees yesterday. I actually got a bloody suntan doing the garden. So it was lovely yesterday. And we've got late dark nights again, haven't we? So, you know, it's getting up for nearly 7 o'clock now to get dark. So, you know, a couple more, well, 5 or 6 more weeks, and it'll be 9, 10 o'clock, won't it? Clocks will go forward at the end of this month, I would have thought, so there's another hour you're going to get. That'll take us to 8. You know, by the time that happens, we'll probably hit 9 already, so. Yeah, we just want a little fishy and I'll be happy. Right, I'm going to take a little break, give my camera a chance to cool down after I've bombarded it, and I'll be back shortly. Well, I'm back because I've got a little nibble on that rod. Let's hope it develops into something. Let me just straighten the camera up a little bit. But yeah, I've got a nibble on it. Not spectacular. You know, if it is a fish, it's a bloody rockling or something. It wasn't out spectacular. But I have had a nibble on it. It's coming up to our water now. So maybe it's near slack water. You know, I've only probably got one more cast left, so it's I really need a fish, really, just to say I've brought my duck coming back out again. Got a big boil on my bloody shoulder where I got bit yesterday by a mozzie or something doing the garden. Just discovered it. It's fucking huge, like either a spider or a mozzie. It's not fresh though, is it? When it gets warm they all come out, don't they? Yeah, I've definitely had a few little nibs on that, so, you know, hopefully it'll develop into a fish. It's a lot comfy sat in this chair on my back anyway. I'm really comfy in it. You know, I almost nearly fell a bloody sleep. I'm not even joking either. It's that comfy. You could easily fall asleep in these chairs. It's ideal for like Paul and Doc and yeah. Because, you know, you don't have to carry it very far, like, but or the river. I wouldn't like to carry it like down cliffs and stuff, because they're not that light. Anyway, I've got myself a nice electric bike, big fat wheels and everything, and it's you know, ideal for spare points. So, you know, if I can get my leg rigging going, I'll be able to get down Spain and get to runnels on it and all. So, but I'll just fish the big tards at runnels and fish off the cliff. You know, there's quite a few places where you can go on the big tards where you can fish off cliffs and stuff, so, you know, it doesn't stop me going to them, like. But obviously I don't want to be pulling fish up, you know, 40, 50 foot cliffs, you know, runnels, it's 10 feet if that, innit, and 10, 12 feet. Same as Easington, it's not that big either. I don't know what crap pipe's like, whether you can still get down there or not. Last time I went, there was a bit of sand to get down, but, you know, I think more sand's gone now, so I think it's a bit steeper on the cliffs, like. So it's just a matter of waiting until all the sand comes back in it, and you know, basically walk back on it again. Because if you go back to one of my videos about 9 months ago, crap pipe, the cliffs was only 2.5 feet, you know, high, basically. It was about my chest height, stood on the beach. So, about 3.5 foot maybe. Same as this last year. This was, you could actually walk on it. Now you can't. So much of it washed away. Shame they don't do nothing about this coastal erosion, because there's a lot of stuff they could do to stop it happening, like. But you'd have to do it all, because if you put coastal erosion, if you put like, you know, barriers to stop it happening, then it just pushes it further up the coast, doesn't it? And it happens there. So, you know, there's not a lot you can really, I suppose, do about it, unless you did it all, like. I was watching a video on YouTube the other week about the Channel Tunnel when they dug it out, and you know they made loads of land out of it. About all the stuff they took out of it, they put near Dover, and they made a great big sort of like loads of land, about 275 square bloody hectares or whatever of land, acres or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's huge what they've made from it. Well, there you go, that's a fish. That is a fish. Looks like it's on as well. Go again then, please. I think we're on, fellas. You know, even if it's a rockling, I'll be happy. Feels like there's something on it though. I don't think I have got it though, unless it's swimming in. No. Shame. That was definitely a bite and a fish, wasn't it? Tell it yourself. Can't say I haven't had any bites. I'll put some fresh bait on because it's probably the last cast this. Because the sun's virtually gone down now, so, you know, it's virtually gone over the horizon. Once that goes over there, it'll start getting dark. So I'll get some fresh worm on it. Yeah, I'll definitely be the last cast. I'll be sort of like packing stuff away while this is out. I've got loads of bloody bait out there anyway. Shame that wasn't a fish. I thought I'd just got away with it then and got a fish before I went home, like, but you know, it wants to be. I thought I'd use a paternoster because it gives me two chances. Like, I didn't want to use a pennel because I'd been getting both rods out. Right, last cast then, fellas. Definitely the last cast of the night, this. You know, I will be back out again in a couple of days. I'll get another video together. You know, I might try somewhere else. I might go to Lavalier or something, because, you know, I can fish there probably. Try a longer cast. Try a long one. It's out about 70 metres or so. Right, it's definitely the last cast, this. I say I pack away, there's not to bloody pack away, I've just realised. There's not really to pack away. Because I ain't got a lot in my box now, you know, because with me having a bad leg and back, I've got my box down to a bare minimum. Like you only carry 4 weights and just my reels and my essentials. You know, I ain't got loads of stuff in there anymore. And it's like my tripod now, I've got a really lightweight tripod that actually folds up so small it fits in my fishing box. So that's on my back as well. And it's all good. I hope them fish aren't just bloody come on when I'm going. Be sorry to start biting now, won't it? I haven't brought no lights or anything, so. And it came for like 2.5, 3 hours, and I've done my 2.5 virtually. Tide's going out now. I've gone through 2 packs of lugs anyway, which I thought I'd go through more, but I haven't. So I've used 20 worms in 2 hours and a bit. By the time this is in, probably about 2 hours 20 minutes I've used 20 worms. Thing is, I've got a video, I know there's no fish in it, but I've had a few little bites and that. You never know, I might just get one on this last cast, but it's nice to get back out. It's nice all the messages I've had asking how I am and all that lot and what's gone on, and you know, it's nice for people to be asking and stuff. You know, don't forget to comment at the bottom of the videos, because it's really disheartening when you put videos out there and you get about 3 comments, you know what I mean? It's don't give you much incentive to put content out, you know what I mean? You know, it's always nice, that's why you should really try and comment, even if it's not much, you know, just anything really, you know, because all them comments help your video, because YouTube share your video out more when you've had a lot of comments on them, and a lot of likes and stuff like that. So, you know, it all helps. I think I've got another bite on here, fellas. You know, they might have just come on now. But I'm not going to pull it this time unless it goes rabid, because I really want to fish. I don't care whether it's a doggy or a rockling, anything, just give me a fish just to say I've had one and I've brought me duck for coming back out. As I said, you know, don't forget to put a few comments at the bottom, like, and stuff like that. It's all good. Support all the other channels. I mean, I like watching other people's channels, so, you know, I've been watching everybody's content, you know, but there haven't been a lot of it, because there's quite a few of them haven't been putting videos out. I mean, Mike's just started putting a few out, but Louis been putting some out, but other than that, there's not been a lot. John Ming's been putting a few out as well. Levo's had a few out. He's been doing a bit of fresh water as Levo, but I enjoy watching his videos as well. You know, I don't mind watching a bit of freshwater fishing and stuff like that, because it gives me a few tips, because I've just got into all that stuff. Like, I don't think I'll be doing it as much this season as I did last season, because last season it was like I was sort of learning how to rig up and, you know, depths and stuff like that, and I was just learning stuff, right type of rods and, you know, fishing. But I will do the odd session, don't get me wrong. I'd like to catch a nice barbel on the River Hull. Whether I travel further afield to catch these barbel or not, because I'm not like obsessed with barbel, you know what I mean? I'm just happy catching a fish, even if it's a chub or something, you know, I'm not bothered. Pike, chub, whatever, roach, bream, anything, rudd, perch, I'm not bothered, anything will do me. I'm never too fussed, you know, a fish is a fish. You know, if you're just a one-trick pony and you go out looking for barbel and nothing else, then, you know, it's all good. You still like to catch a little bit in between, don't you? Just to say that you know, keep you interested. I mean, I was trying to get one last season on the River Hull, like, and I had quite a lot of sessions on there. Never managed to get one. I did get a chub, like, but I never managed to get a barbel. I lost quite a lot of gear because it's like you got to refine your casting, because them bloody little rods, they don't half flick a bait out. You know, when you haven't got a lot of weight on there, the slightest little tickle and it's gone 20 yards before you know it, like, and you know, it's learning how to control it, because you're used to beach casting, like, with big weights on and stuff. So it's a different kettle of fish. But I like stick floats and stuff, you know what I mean? Come on, fishy, give me a fish. Be nice to me. There's two lovely baits out there with lovely black lug on it. That's definitely got a fish's name on it somewhere, hasn't it? If there's a little stickleback out there, fancies a bit of black lug, just get on the end of my hook. Anyway, fellas, as I said, I will be back out again in you know, in the coming days, like. But I'm going to chop it for now, because this battery's running out anyway, and I ain't putting a new one in for just to pull that rod in. So, but if it does go, I'll put the camera back on and I'll do the outro and stuff. Hopefully we might have a fish, you never know. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, fellas, it's time to go. It's 6:15. The tide's been going out a bit. Sun's down, so we're getting dark in about 20 minutes. I'm going to pull this in. I haven't seen it bite, so there's probably an out on it. A bit of weed maybe. It's drifted that way now, because obviously the tide's going out. Would be nice to pull the fish in on your last cast, like. It does feel heavy, but it's probably weed. Because of the Qatar swag, it's probably weed. It's pulling something in though. Yeah, just a bit of weed. Right, that's it then, fellas. I've enjoyed it here at Kilnsea. It's been great. I might be out in a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, depends what the weather's like, but I've enjoyed it. We've been out again. It's a video to watch anyway, there's no fish in it, but I've had a few bites, had a bit of a laugh, give the leg a bit of movement, so that's all good. And so until next time, from me, Jimmy Cod Bites, finally back out again from a lovely evening at Kilnsea. It's a very, very good evening from me.